Look, nobody breaks into a vault at midnight unless someone left the hallway lights on, see? You think she's a criminal mastermind, moving through the glass penthouse like a shadow, cold, silent, modded sneakers pressing against Italian marble. The air conditioning is humming, low, metallic, 18 degrees, but she's burning up underneath that black designer leather. Her thumb touches the biometric scanner of the floor-to-safe cabinet. Click! A green light bleeds across her face. Too easy. It's always too easy when the money is that loud. You've seen her husband, right? Arthur Vance. The guy's a walking monolith. Ice in his veins, offshore bank accounts in places you couldn't find on a map. People say he's blind to her, say he's blinded by the silk dresses
and the fake laughs at the charity galas. But check this. Look closer at the desk behind her. See that glass of scotch? Ice melted. Condensation dripping down the crystal. Tap, tap, tap onto a mahogany surface. The leather chair is still warm. He didn't forget his keys, my friends. He left them right there next to the amber liquid. A golden invitation wrapped in a trap. She slides the flash drive into the terminal. Her breath, it's short. Coming fast now, like a runner at the final turn. 1-2, 1-2. The screen glows white, throwing her sharp cheekbones into high contrast. Files are moving. Billions in dummy corporations. Shipping manifests from the port of Douala. Shell accounts from Zurich. Transferring, percent by percent. 12%, 24%, 48%. She's smiling, right?
A tight, desperate little curl of the lips. She thinks she's stealing the keys to the kingdom. She thinks she's leaving him in the dirt. But she doesn't hear the tiny hum from the smoke detector above her head. A red lens, blinking, watching, sending data to a completely different
server 3 floors down. Downstairs, in the basement archive where the air smells like old paper and cold copper, Arthur Vance sits. No lights, just 3 glowing monitors reflecting off his polished leather shoes. He isn't shouting. He isn't calling the cops. His hand, it's completely still on the armrest. He takes a slow, deep breath in, holds it, lets it out. He's watching her copy the files that will completely destroy his public name tomorrow at 9 a.m. Why? Because when you owe the bank 10 billion, you don't run. You make your wife look like the thief so you can collect the insurance. He planned this 6 months ago, the moment he realized she was looking at his head of security with those same hungry eyes. She pulls the drive. Snap. The plastic casing clicks against her fingernails. It's done. She thinks she's free. She slips toward the balcony doors, the heavy glass sliding open with a soft shriek into the cool, damp midnight air. The city of Buea stretches out below her, a sea of low-slung yellow streetlights and mist rolling down Mount Cameroon. She looks down at her phone. A text pops up. I'm outside. Gate 2. She doesn't see Arthur's reflection in the glass behind her. He's not physically there, but his ghost is in every single wire of this house. Now, let's talk about the guy at Gate 2. Marcus, head of security. Big chest, expensive tactical watch, hands that smell like gun oil and cheap peppermint mints. He's sitting in a blacked-out SUV, engine idling so softly you'd think it was a sleeping beast. His fingers are tapping the steering wheel. Thud, 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 matching the rhythm of his wipers cutting through the light mountain drizzle. He's in deep, right? He thinks he's the rogue hero stealing the queen. He's got the forged passports in the glove box, 2 names you've never heard of, 2 lives bought with Arthur Vance's stolen secrets. The rear door opens.
Cold air rushes in, carrying the scent of her expensive French perfume and wet leather. She drops into the leather seat, panting. Her fingers are shaking so hard she misses the seatbelt buckle twice. Clink, clink. Finally, click. Move, she whispers. Her voice is raw. It's a dry scratch in the back of her throat. Marcus doesn't hit the gas hard. He rolls out smooth, professional. Through the iron gates, past the high concrete walls topped with razor wire. He looks at her in the rearview mirror, gives her that reassuring nod. The one that says, "We made it." But his eyes keep darting to the dashboard clock. 3:42 a.m.
But check the dashboard, people. Right beneath the digital clock, a tiny aftermarket tracking device hidden inside the auxiliary port. A little green light pulsing every 3 seconds. Blink, blink. Who put it there? Not the wife, not Marcus. It was installed during a routine maintenance check 2 weeks ago by a mechanic who suddenly found a brown envelope filled with cash on his workbench. Arthur Vance doesn't lose assets. He liquidates them. He's sitting back in his subterranean office, watching that little green dot crawl down the mountain road on a digital map. He's sipping his watered-down scotch now. The ice is completely gone. Marcus turns onto the dark highway leading out toward Douala. No cars, just logging trucks roaring past in the opposite direction, blinding them for a split second with high-beam headlights. Whoosh, whoosh. Every time the white light hits the inside of the SUV, you can see the sweat sheen on Marcus's forehead. He thinks he's a genius. He thinks he outsmarted a man who built a commodity empire from nothing. "The accounts are clearing," she says, staring at her tablet. Her face is ghostly pale in the screen's light. "The Swiss tier is verified." She reaches out, touching his shoulder. Her fingers dig into his jacket. He doesn't flinch, but his shoulder muscles tighten like coiled steel cables. They reach the toll gate. It's dark. The concrete booths look like ancient tombstones under the flickering halogen lamps. Marcus rolls down the window. The smell of wet asphalt and burning diesel fills the cabin. The gate guard doesn't look up. He just reaches out a hand. Marcus drops a note into his palm. But look at the guard's other hand, under the counter. He's holding us. 4:15 a.m. The sky isn't blue yet. It's that ugly, bruised purple color right before the world wakes up. The rain has stopped, leaving the road looking like black glass. They're at a safe house now, an abandoned cocoa warehouse near the river. Smells like rotting wood, old burlap bags, and rusted corrugated iron. She's pacing the floor, her heels clicking violently against the concrete. Clack, 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 shattering the silence. She's staring at her phone. The signal bar is dropping. 1 bar, 0 bars. "Marcus, the network is gone. I can't access the final transfer confirmation." Marcus steps out of the SUV, slamming the door. The sound echoes like a gunshot through the empty warehouse. Boom. He grabs his tablet. His face changes. That tough security pro confidence? Evaporating. Right there in the screen isn't showing banking numbers anymore. It's showing a live news feed. Local time 4:18 a.m. A banner flashes in bold red letters. Vance Enterprises declares insolvency following massive internal data breach. CEO Arthur Vance cooperating with international authorities. Marcus drops the tablet. The screen cracks across the center, a clean line dividing his face in the reflection. You see the play yet? It's beautiful, in a sick, twisted kind of way. The files she stole, they weren't the real assets. They were the dummy files Arthur wanted the public to see. The ones showing massive fraud, illegal shipping lanes, unbacked debt. By taking them, she didn't rob him. She became his fall guy. She signed her own name on the digital trail. The IP address used for the leak, it traces straight back to her personal device, straight back to this warehouse. She stands there, her hands dropping to her sides. The air in the warehouse suddenly feels freezing. You can see her breath misting in the dim light, a small white cloud vanishing into nothing. Marcus takes a step back from her, not toward her, away. His survival instinct is kicking in. The gun oil scent on his hands is mixed with cold, sour sweat now. "You told me this was clean," he spits out. His voice is low, dangerous, like an animal backed into a corner. "You said he didn't know." She doesn't answer. She's looking at her fingernails. One of them is split down the middle, bleeding slightly from when she pulled the drive out of the safe.
Not sirens, not police cars with flashing blue lights. Just two pristine, silver luxury sedans rolling quietly into the warehouse driveway. Their high beams cut through the dust motes in the air, blinding them both. Perfect, bright pillars of white light turning the old warehouse into a stage. The engines stop. The silence that follows is heavier than the thunder. The doors don't open right away. They just wait, letting the heat from the radiators warp the air in front of the grills. 4:45 a.m. The front passenger door of the lead sedan opens. Smooth, no creaks. Out steps a guy in a tailored charcoal grey suit. Not Arthur Vance. Arthur doesn't do his own landscaping. This is his lead attorney, Mr. Cole. Clean-shaven, smelling of expensive bay rum aftershave and peppermint lozenges. He's holding a thick manila folder under his arm like a shield. He doesn't look at Marcus. He doesn't look at the SUV. He walks straight toward her, his leather loafers making absolutely no sound on the dusty concrete floor. He stops precisely 3 feet away, opens the folder. The white pages glow under the glare of the car headlights. "Mrs. Vance," he says. His voice is smooth, level, completely devoid of anger or excitement. It's the voice of a man reading a supermarket receipt. "Mr. Vance sends his regards. He also wanted to ensure you received these copy documents. The original forensic logs showing your digital signature on the corporate data theft have already been delivered to the Financial Crimes Division in Yaoundé. They are processing the warrant now." She looks down at the top page. It's a divorce settlement, dated 3 months ago. The terms? 0% of the marital assets in the event of criminal prosecution or marital infidelity resulting in corporate damage. He didn't fight her for the money. He used her greed to strip her of every single dime legally, while making her the face of the biggest corporate collapse of the decade. He walks away clean. The debt is wiped out by the bankruptcy. His personal wealth is hidden in trusts she never even knew existed. Marcus looks at the papers, looks at her, and then he just turns around. He climbs back into the SUV. He doesn't look back. He starts the engine and reverses out into the dark night, leaving her standing alone in the headlights. The attorney smiles, just a tiny twitch of the cheek, and hands her a sleek pen with Arthur's initials engraved on the silver cap. "He suggested you sign the waiver now, madam. It includes a clause for a private cell block, better amenities. He thought you'd appreciate the consideration." Her fingers close around the cold metal of the pen. The metal feels like ice against her skin. She doesn't scream. She doesn't cry. There's no big speech. Just the scratch of ink on paper. Screech, screech, under the white-hot glare of her husband's headlights. 5 a.m. The sedans back away, their lights sweeping across the empty walls before disappearing entirely.
The warehouse is plunged back into that dim, bruised purple twilight. The first birds are starting to chirp up in the mountain trees, sharp, piercing little sounds cutting through the morning mist. She stands in the center of the floor, holding nothing but a broken fingernail and a copy of her own defeat. You see, out here on the streets we have a saying: if the bait looks too big for the trap, you're already inside the cage. Keep your eyes open, people. The radio is going dark. Sleep tight.